What's up, guys? This is Trailbound Chris, and this is King of Motos Hard Enduro Race. This is row 1 through 20, and the results from the prologue allows these top 20 guys to go first. So in my prologue results, I got 21st, so that means I'm in the second row of probably 4 or 5 of them, and that means I get to get in front of quite a few people. Everyone's just going for whatever line they can get at, trying to get through these boulders. They are a lot bigger than they look in person, and there's not a ton of lines. So I get my foot pegs kind of wedged up right there. I'm able to get around this, and then you got this deep sand right here. So I'm gonna cross over and then get lined up for this big long hill climb. It's pretty slabby. And when we were walking the prologue, I was looking at this, I'm like, there's no way we're gonna get up this with no momentum. It's the Motos XT454 is digging up into this thing pretty well. And I'm actually getting up it, so you can see all these other guys are up here. Some of them are from the first row, some of them are from that second row that I'm in right now. And you can see it's just a pile up. So I'm just squeezing in there, trying to get in front, trying to get a line in. This guy on the YZ, I feel really bad because he does not have an E-start, and it is so much more work when you're up on a hill like this to not start it. He said he pulled that left-hand kick there. You can see I was trying to sneak by to the left line, but once he started moving, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the right line because that's definitely the easiest one. And this part, you can see I'm just slow wheeling up this thing. That's how steep it is. And we jump into this kind of faster section here, which is a nice pace after pushing up that long hill. It's a pretty cool section. There's a lot of rock drops on it, and it's right around here in the in the prologue that I realized that my alarm clock was going off.
Oh my god, what the alarm's going
on? Super annoying, but I got all the alarms turned off in this race, so so I can just focus on the race. It definitely feels a lot better riding after having that prologue warm-up, because now I feel a lot looser. In the prologue, I just felt so squirmy and so sketchy, and now just kind of having that like break-in period, feeling a lot better. Got this cool sandy section to pin it on. This is why a lot of guys were running the IRC M5B tire, because they thought there was going to be a lot of sand in it. And that guy looks like he crashed. That was a fast section coming into that side hill. Like I was saying, a lot of guys were thinking that the IRC M5B would be a good tire because of all the possible sand out there. But really what I'm finding is that most of this race was boulders, and there was only that kind of one sandy hill climb, which wasn't that bad. So I'm really happy I went with the softer tire. It was the Motos XT454 double gummy, and it's kind of a hybrid. It's a hybrid tire, but it's definitely a gummy tire. It is a lot softer than the Shinko 505s, the IRC VE33S, but I'm finding that it holds up really well and doesn't break down in these kind of desert conditions. This is where gummies suffers when you're riding loose rocks. That's where you get some tire spin. On this particular spot, these boulders, a full gummy would be fine, but when you're hitting the kind of hill climbs and you're spinning tires in between, that's where you want to go to the hybrid. And I'm finding that Motos is the perfect balance of gummy and longevity. I saw all these ruts going up this hill, and I went for it. Didn't really pay attention to the GPS. I'm checking it now, but the thing is with my GPS, this right one for some reason is freezing up, and that's my main one. That's the one I have like zoomed in. The left one is more of the zoomed out, so you can't really, so you just see an overview of the track. So I'm looking at the GPS and I'm like, wait a second, what's going on this thing? Like, am I on the right track? And then I pop down here and I see that guy. I feel like he had quite a lead on me, and it started to click with me that I just took a wraparound route, and essentially I cheated, and I feel terrible at this point, but I'm like stuck in these rocks. But I had to make the decision to go back. I just couldn't live with the fact that I cut out a big canyon section.
I gotta go back.
So I'm turning around. So that's the thing with these GPS races, is that it's easy to kind of get off course because not everything is marked. But if you miss a big section, and they can go back and look at the GPS and see if you skipped a section. And if they do, you get like an hour penalty. So you can see here I'm dropping back down and then looking at the GPS, and it's saying go into this canyon here. So I was right, I missed that big section. And you can see it's a pretty gnarly section. It's not like it was something easy.
Yeah, I went up there and I skipped this section. Felt wrong. There's like a fire road up there, and then I saw that it goes in here. Okay. So I went back, I backtracked.
That fire road kind of shortcut that I took set me back, so I had to turn around and get back. So in the rules that they were talking about the night before, they're basically saying, like, if you skip a section and it puts you ahead of someone, it gives you an advantage, then you will get docked for it. Let me know in the comments what you guys would have done. Would you have turned around, or would you just kept going? I feel like this is the right thing to do, so that's what I went for.
Of course, you start bobbling. You redo it.
This is a Gas Gas EC300 that I got from Let's Ride Power Sports in Idaho, and it is running great. This thing is like a cheater. I can't believe I went so long without getting one of these versus riding a 250 for so long. I don't know what it is. The stroke of the piston just feels like it just pulls the bike over stuff so much easier, and the bike stalls way less in terms of, like, if you let the clutch out and just kind of like don't give it gas, it seems like it stalls a lot slower. It's pretty interesting that the motor kind of chugs you along. And I can't believe I rode the hard enduro stuff on that 250 for so long. I think the 250 taught me a lot of clutch control, taught me how to really rev it up, which I will use those techniques in situations, but this 300 in general is just, man, it just makes riding this stuff a lot easier. And I feel like these should be called the cheater bikes because it gives you an advantage for sure. You can see there's tons of just flat riverbeds out here. It's interesting that not a lot of the race had much elevation. It was a lot of these flat, rocky canyons with just boulders, and you just trudge through it. It definitely felt like you're rock crawling. And I feel like if they would have put more hill climbs, like bouldery, hard enduro hill climbs, that would have separated a lot of the gaps. I think I had heard that Cody Webb said something about this was basically a hare scramble. And I mean, I would not say that these rocky conditions were anything like a hare scramble. Those guys would be pissed. But there were a lot of transfer sections that gave you the elevation. You went up and down to get into these canyons that were really pretty smooth fire roads that you could haul ass on. And what Cody was saying is that he held back in like 3rd or 4th place, letting Tristan Hart and Taylor Roberts, Colton Haker go ahead, thinking that there would be a really gnarly section and that he would be able to catch them there. But they ended up just getting such a gap. There's no really, really hard stuff where he has a high advantage on those guys. So he was just never able to catch them in the 2 laps. I cut out a ton of the fire road sections like this, and even kind of easier than that, and just showing all the rock sections because that's what's interesting to me. But I feel like there was a lot of transfer sections. Compared to last year, I think this race was a lot easier. But at the same time, my friend was like, well, I mean, do you think you just got better? And I mean, I do think I got better in the past year and have a lot better bike. But still, in general, I think there could have been a lot more gnarly climb sections than there was in this race. But Justin did a good job holding this race together, keeping it going, and I'm surprised that they were able to get a full race with COVID. And I'm stoked that they had it and that we were able to get out there and race. You can see I was getting kind of lost there with the GPS, but gotten back on track. You can see the chopper above us filming it, and we're back to hammering it. So this is the first half of lap 1. I'm gonna cut it here and just make this video a little bit shorter, and then we'll come back with another video or 2. So I hope this video got you stoked on riding some boulders and some hard enduro, and we'll see you in the next video.